everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Dang. Hello there.
Welcome to Sexy Nerd Science, Season 4, Episode 26.
Woo!
Getting up there, and kind of doing some shindig stuff. Let's just start off with just telling everybody about our week and our weekends and what's been going on. Dale, start with you, man.
We haven't heard from you in a while, Dale.
I know, it's been a while. Let's see. I've actually been doing Uber on the side. I just started doing Uber probably about a week and a half ago, and it's a little extra income on the side, and
it's Uber time consuming.
it's pretty fun though, honestly. Like, I get to meet other cool people and I get to drive around the city, and I actually finally bought a dash cam, which I've been wanting to do for a while. So I got one that points inside the car and outside in my front. So it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Was it because of my awesome Uber story from when I came back from
No.
Neb-
No.
Did you want to have those kind of people in your car?
No.
Ugh. Excuse me.
How clean do you have to keep your car down?
So because I have a high rating, I have like this thing called Uber Select. I can be a part of. It's like the highest low tier thing I can do. And I want to keep it pretty clean. But honestly, as long as it's, stuff's not on the seat and, you vacuum once a week, you're fine.
Which
So-
is literally 100% more maintenance than Dale ever put into it.
Ever. Yeah. And because I'm making money now, that's the only reason.
Are you using the Fusion?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a little bit extra money on the side. And then it's actually pretty fun to do. So
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with.
You carry
People.
a stack. Do you want a stack of our cards to put in there?
No, I do not want to stack your cards to put in there. I don't need to solicit any more than I am.
With our website that's no longer
Exactly.
into Dale's Uber. Like, I hope you guys like podcasts because that's what we're listening to.
Yeah.
And then Sexy Nerd Science.
Yeah.
So,
Dave from Facebook says, "What's up?"
what's up, Dave?
What's going on?
Dave is one of my coworkers from Carlos O'Kelly's back in the day. I think he's on like 2 kids now, right? Possibly.
Something like that.
He looks terrific. But hi, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Josh, what have you been up to? I haven't really talked to either of you guys in a long time.
I've been prepping for what's called annual event, which is an annual event that gets held at Walmart starting Thursday and does not end until Sunday night.
Is it an annual event?
It is, and it's more than just Black Friday. I'm getting everything ready. This is the first year that our team has been selling phones in Walmart on Black Friday at as many stores as we're at right now. So there's so much more that can go wrong. But there's also so much more that can go right. So I've been over prepping for that. Just literally meetings all the time with store management, my team, things like that. My boss's boss. It's just been crazy hectic with that. When I'm not working though, I've been playing some video games that we'll get into. But yeah, I was so busy at one point in time that I was just like, I bought a movie ticket and forgot to go to the movie. That's how.
Oh wow.
It's just like I was supposed to tickets are at like 10:30 and then like 11 o'clock, and I'm just like, dang it, I forgot my movie.
What movie was it?
It was actually for Fantastic Beasts. I was going to go on opening night at 10:30, and I ended up going on Sunday. So
That's funny.
you're welcome, Marcus Theaters, for getting $40 of my money because I paid for 2 tickets and no one came with me the first time. And then on the second time, somebody did come with me, but I still paid for 2 other tickets.
That's kind of funny. I don't think I've ever missed a movie. I think we almost missed a movie.
So what it was, we did. It was on Fandango. I think that was the problem. Is normally I'm a huge advocate for the Marcus Movies app. That I go to the movie, or I buy my tickets on the movie app. It sends me a wallet notification on my phone, so the QR code for the tickets goes right to my phone, and it sets up a calendar alert for me and tells me, "Hey, there's a movie." And
Fandango does the same thing.
I don't have an account on Fandango.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
didn't have a guest account because it was having trouble. My Marcus app was not working at the time because they just updated their app But the second time I bought tickets, bought on Marcus, had the alert on my phone, and it was like, "Hey, you should leave for the movie now." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Thank you." And it was
My phone tells me every time I buy Marcus Theaters that I still have a Fast and the Furious 6 movie ticket available that never technically got, like, I just walked in and we went and saw the movie, but it never got scanned from like 2 years ago, and I don't know how to clear it.
so, and that's the other thing too.
I don't know how to get it out of there. Like,
I didn't know this, but apparently I can just take my digital ticket. Like, I don't have to like go to the kiosk and get like a physical thing printed out.
I haven't needed to do that in a while.
Yeah, they're just like you don't, because they don't tear your tickets anymore.
Yeah.
they just print out.
Well, honestly, we go to a Cinemark theater over by us now, and I show them on my phone, they scan it, and then 2 tickets print out right there.
Yep. I've been there for that. And that's how Alamo Draft House works too as well. When we went there and bought our tickets on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went to that Cinemark with you. We went and saw
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. It's a nice one. It's pretty new to the area. It's been around maybe 2 years, 2.5 years. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Drew, what about you? Anything new?
Well, I mean, work is kind of going a little slower, so I've had a little bit of time to fiddle with some things. I'm actually going to be starting a D&D campaign here soon, so I've been kind of prepping for that.
Awesome.
But
Can you tell everyone how you've been prepping for your D&D thing?
what do you mean?
Any cool shortcuts that you found?
What are you talking about?
You showed me a sweet Siri shortcut last time I was here.
Yeah. So through prepping for it, I was doing a lot of research on the internet, and just because Google and the way of the world, when you search a lot of things, a lot of times they give you suggested ads for specific news topics and stuff. Well, being that the new Shortcuts app has come out for the iPhones within the last update, they basically have a way to do shortcuts for a ton of different topics. One of the ones that I found through basically a suggested news article is WTF is my D&D character, and it's a shortcut that basically will create a character for you. So if you press the button, it says your character is a fucking plucky dwarf cleric from the Iron Mountain range who is secretly fond of embroidery. So you can select OK. You can say, do you want? It'll give you a prompt that says, do you want to roll stats for this character? You say, hell yeah, roll some stats. Fuck no, give me a new one. Or I'll roll my own fucking stats. So basically you can do that. You say, no, give me a new one. It'll do another one. Basically, your character is a fucking enthusiastic tiefling monk from a rural construction company who has really bad hay fever. So you do that. You say,
I love the flaws in D&D.
Yeah. So you just roll stats, and then it gives you basically all of your available strength modifier or strength numbers, your dexterity numbers. I'm just going to mock up here.
Cool.
And then basically after you're done, it says your racial modifiers have been added. Now your tiefling monk is fucking ready to roll. And so you click OK, and it gives you all your stats, and then you just back out, and then it says, your shortcuts app says, I copied your fucking character to the clipboard. Go paste it somewhere so you don't lose it, asshole.
Why does it swear a lot?
It's because it's who the fuck is my D&D character.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like
the WT forecast app where like whenever you open up the forecast,
it's really fucking cold.
Yeah. It's
so, but it's really neat. I like it a lot. It's really, I mean, it's definitely something I enjoy using. It gives me inspiration for a lot of my NPCs that I'm doing. So there's a lot of NPCs that I'm just getting their backstory from using that app.
Yeah. No, there's a bunch of different like NPC generators that we use for our campaigns, and it's pretty awesome. They'll do something similar to that. because most NPCs don't need a full stat count. It just need like a name and a profession, or a name and maybe like the race and style or whatever. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then the biggest, coolest kind of news that I've got is I got a new computer, basically. We're now recording on a new iBuyPower, well, not a new, a used iBuyPower PC from like 2016, which is light years beyond my Frankenstein machine that I had. Somebody thought it was scrap and kind of gave it away. I was going to try and maybe pull a video card and power supply out of it, some cool red cooling fans, and just kind of go from there. But I booted it up and it was able to be logged into. So I asked the person I got it from if I could have a password. They were just okay. I mean, they were pretty much okay with it, so I did that and I formatted the drive and everything works. So
nice.
I was afraid that maybe it just overheated on them at one point in time, but they got a new warranty computer. So, I'm not too worried about it. They're not too worried about it. So
cool.
But the biggest part about that is I can play relatively new games.
Which we might be playing right after this.
Yeah. So,
apologies to anyone watching if this video suddenly cuts out on our end. Blame the new computer.
Yeah.
Just starts smoking.
It's working so far.
Yeah, we're doing good.
I ran Ring of Elysium on it. It's basically ski PUBG. If you've heard of that game.
PUBG, is that like Fortnite?
Yeah, is that like Battlefield Blackout or Call of Duty Blackout?
Yeah.
Is that like?
I think it's all the same game. Is that like Red Dead Redemption?
No.
No.
So let's get into it though. Some sexy news. Dale, you were gone last week, the week before, but we never really got to talk to you about Stan Lee. So I wanted to actually touch on that real quick and see, how you felt about.
Just kidding.
He's not here anymore. About that, that news and
I see it as his time passed a long time ago as far as being more relevant, in my opinion. He was more of a face to a empire that he doesn't even run anymore. It's more just a cameo, and then that's all he did. So, to me, I didn't really grow up with comic books. I didn't really, besides seeing him in cameos, or once in a while I see him at like a convention he's at with us. That's all I really had any interaction with. So, I'm sad that he's dead, but that's pretty much all I can say about that.
I mean, as far as him, being the creator of literally 90% of the media that we watch and talk about, I mean, what do you feel about that? I mean, do you have any affinity towards specific comic book characters, or?
I'm more of a DC guy, which we've talked in the past, but I do respect the Marvel genre. I love the Marvel movies. So I definitely, I guess I'm just, appreciative of him, appreciative of everything that he's done. So I thank him for everything he's given us, but anything more than that, I would say it's neutral in my opinion.
Fair enough.
So we were talking about cameos last week too for Stan Lee, and like we were thinking that the next Marvel movie coming out that he's probably going to be in is going to be the fourth Miss Marvel.
Oh, I guess probably Miss Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I don't know. I said Miss Marvel, but
probably Captain Marvel. But also, it was confirmed that he finished for Avengers 4 as well.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, within the next couple Marvel movies that have come out before Avengers 4, I know that's Captain Marvel, and then I think we have one more. It's one more one-off for Marvel movies. Oh, well, I guess he was technically in Venom, but
yeah. And there's so the next one that's coming out that I didn't even think about is next month. Once Upon a Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Is the PG remake or the PG re-release of Deadpool,
Or it's PG-13, right?
PG-13, yeah. Re-release of Deadpool, and I'm really excited for it because
Cheers, Drew.
I think there's going to be enough new stuff. You know what? Forget you guys.
Yeah, I saw that trailer for Once Upon a Deadpool, and that was pretty funny and interesting. I like, what was that, Fred Savage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a lot angrier in person. But so I'm excited to see it. I possibly think there might be some other cameo things that happen inside it, just for some new scenes.
Did
a lot that was cut out
did
of
Stan Lee a cameo in Deadpool?
He did.
This first one he did. The second one, he was in the trailer for it. And I think that was it.
The one where Deadpool's running, or Deadpool's in the phone booth or whichever.
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought he was in the second one. I don't know.
I can't remember now.
I'll Google it.
Yeah.
You
We'll
guys
have to
talk
watch
about
it
something
again
else.
sometime.
So talk about your movie.
But yes, so the movie that I lost my tickets to, and didn't lose my tickets to, did not go to the movie, and then ended up going to see it again on Sunday, was Fantastic Beasts 2, essentially, The Crimes of Grindelwald. And I saw it, Dale saw it, Drew has not seen it, but he's okay with spoilers. Like I said, Dumbledore dies, obviously, we all know. So it's not like I'm spoiling too much. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I really liked the first one. I felt like it was kind of it reminded me of like one of those old TV shows like Jeff Corwin or The Crocodile Hunter or something like that, except with magical beasts. And I was like, that's cool. But like then it added Grindelwald in the end, and I was just like, oh, cool. I wonder where this is going to go. Well, this movie was less about the Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and more about Grindelwald. He had a huge part in the movie this time, and
A lot of the leading characters came back.
Yeah. So I think everybody that was in the last movie, I think no one changed from characters from the last one.
Yeah, I thought the American president was a different actress.
She might be, but she was only in it for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, in this one she was only in it for 2 seconds, but
but I mean, other than that, it was a really good movie. I liked the beginning, like just right from the very beginning, it was like, oh my gosh, this is good, and then it was just fantastic all the way to the very end.
Okay, so sorry. I wanted to touch real quick on that Deadpool cameo.
Yes.
He was basically a giant graffitied face when Domino is parachuting it. So he was his face is graffitied on the side of a wall on a building while she's parachuting. So
Yeah.
anyway,
but back to Fantastic Beasts. Yeah, it was a really good action movie. I felt like there were a lot of things that I think nods towards doing a lot of fan service. So for those of you guys who did not know, Dumbledore and Grindelwald had a very troubled relationship that was more than just friends between them, but kind of didn't like hint at too much more. I mean, we knew that Dumbledore was gay from J.K. Rowling coming out saying that, and we've kind of always thought that Grindelwald and Dumbledore kind of had a thing when they were younger. And they made it pretty clear in this movie that was in fact the case. So people that want some wizard on wizard action, there was some male and female wizard on. There was wizard on wizard. There was wizard on human. No match.
yeah.
There was. I mean, at even one point in time, there was cat on cat.
okay, I think we're done with that.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, Harry Potter was fantastic, and the Fantastic Beasts series, I think, is going to be equally as fantastic as Harry Potter.
I was extremely impressed too.
I'm excited for it for sure. I just with all the things going on, seeing a movie, falls on the low list of the priorities.
I didn't know too. Like, so I going into this movie, I thought there was only like 3 movies that were going to be out. So I was like, okay, like there's going to be some stuff that happens in this movie. And it kind of does the same. Like, I felt like it was going to do the same kind of story arc that like Star Wars would do, where it's like good movie, happy ending, second movie, like, oh my God, the bad guy's doing so good. And then third movie, like happy ending again. That's what I think is going to happen in the new Star Wars trilogy. That's what happened in the last Star Wars trilogy. That's not what happened in the prequels, but yeah. I mean, it was 2 for 3. It was one of those things where I felt like that was going to happen. And then at the end, like, I was like, oh my gosh, that was intense. Like, when is the next one coming out? And then I Googled it and I was like, oh my goodness, there's 3 more movies coming out. Like, so this is part 2 of 5 is what's going on right now.
She's definitely going for that 15, or was it 12, 13?
Well,
13
are there
movies?
books for these ones?
From what I've seen, the Fantastic Beasts books come out after the movies.
Okay, so but they're pretty much just. I mean, like you always have like little details that they're missing from the movies that are in the book. I only have read a few different books in my life, and Harry Potter has been one of them. And I'm interested in seeing, are there any more stuff added? Is there anything added or taken out from the books?
And I don't think that we won't know that until the first book's out. I just never read it.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out and it's basically just about the movie.
But I mean, you can assume that with just like what we know about adaptation of the books, you got to leave some stuff out to make it a movie. So I'm sure that they add more exposition into the book to make it read well.
Is it bad that I don't want there to be, like, I would want J.K. Rowling focused on writing the next scripts and screenplays for the future movies instead of being like, okay, now the movie's done, let me go finish writing this book and then we'll work on the next movie. You know, like, I want the movies to be done now. At this point in time.
I'm sure that I'm sure it goes hand in hand. She probably writes it and then takes the stuff out for the movie and then just waits to publish the book until after the movie,
or kind of writes them simultaneously.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Is you write the beginning and the beginning to the end, and just take these 10 sections out and put it into a movie.
And then once the movie comes out after it's all been CGI'd and stuff,
put it all back in and publish it in the book.
Yeah.
So
wifey just got home. I can hear her.
Like I said, I love the movie. I thought it was really good. I can't wait till the next one comes out. Dale, were there any parts that like you were just like, oh my gosh, that was cool? Like, I'm trying to think of
offhand. I really like the circus, how they collapsed the circus.
Bigger on the inside.
Oh, exactly. Well, no, I don't think it was bigger on the inside. I think it took up all the space on the ground. It just was all compacted at the end.
Oh, and then they put it all in one of the trunks.
In one of the trunks, yeah.
Kind of like, I mean, the briefcase for Newt, and then Hermione's bag.
Yeah.
And the other stuff.
I liked a lot of the stuff that Grindelwald did. A lot of the magic was new spells. He did different stuff to attack people when he was escaping, and
so that we didn't have Expelliarmus like 20 times.
Exactly.
Only once I saw it.
It was more in depth with actually, wand on wand talking and whatnot.
It was some wand on wand action.
Well, one of the things that happens a lot is
I'm recording.
Like, as you get more
streaming too.
Wizard, you have
check us out on any of the social
essentially,
media.
so you can perform magic without actually having to say the names of the spells.
A lot longer.
So there were a lot of things that obviously Grindelwald being the second or first, depending on how things are going, most powerful wizard in the world.
Well, he has the.
He does.
What is it called? The
Elder Wand.
Elder Wand. Yeah, he has. I mean, that's where he gets it from, because Grindelwald is actually in the Harry Potter movies too. He's in the prison. He's in Azkaban prison, and Voldemort comes up to him.
That's Grigorovich.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, never mind then.
I thought that was Grigorovich.
Google away.
Yeah, we need to do that. Somebody, I don't know.
I'll do that.
I'm pretty sure it was Grigorovich. And then Voldemort breaks in and is like, "Hey, where's the wand?" Because he was rumored to be the last person who stole it. And I don't know. I mean, it was
okay.
one of those
So
things
another question. I don't want to spoil it too much, but the guy at the end.
I just want to so bad.
Yeah, I know. The guy at the end, is he in the other movie? Is he in Harry Potter?
Nicholas Flamel?
No, not that guy. The
Killing me.
I know. The last guy. The new brother.
Oh, so
Because
no,
I don't know either.
So that was one
I
of the
can
things
figure
to
it
me.
out. Who is it?
No, you can't.
Hashtag spoilers.
No, we cannot say it. We
Hashtag.
really can't. It's going to ruin everything because it's literally
Voldemort?
No. But let's just say we know where Dumbledore gets his Phoenix from.
Is it like is his Phoenix like his twin brother? Eaten
Every
in the womb?
Dumbledore can call upon a Phoenix when needed. And that's how we find out how Dumbledore got his Phoenix. But I mean, it's man,
That was hilarious.
that was to me like I was like, oh my god, I need the next movie. I need it now. I need to figure out what's going on because you're right. That was not in any of the books. I don't think that was anything that was even possibly hinted at. In fact, what we saw from the books was the exact opposite of that. Is that I mean that it's going to be a dividing thing because I think, and we can't get too much into it, but it was one of the driving forces that made Dumbledore who he was and split the relationship between Grindelwald and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
So I thought that it was going to be fantastic. I did not expect all those people to die that were in. Like I was like, oh, they're going to be in this a lot because I kind of wanted to see how things changed. But yeah, oh my gosh, just great. Like I want to go see it again now. Like now
No, me and Amanda were talking about we're gonna go see it again.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to go in. I want to be like, oh, that was that. Like, and just keep pointing these things out.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned Nicholas Flamel. Like, people are just like, who's that? Like, it's literally Dumbledore's buddy who.
Well, he opens the thing to see the thing.
Yeah. So you could see the Sorcerer's Stone, and it was just in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, cool. Like, that's where the Sorcerer's Stone was. It was just like Nicholas Flamel was just hanging out with it in Paris.
Yeah.
Nice.
Real quick, as anybody online have anything we want to talk about or any questions for us? We're on a lot of different things right now, or a lot of different platforms. So if you,
so it's not just Facebook. We have Periscope, Twitter, or Twitch, right?
Yep,
Facebook,
and YouTube.
Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. YouTube's working.
YouTube's working.
Oh man,
Nice.
Oh man,
On the tube.
and it's all going on Project Nerd, right?
yeah. All the things are going on Project Nerd.
Project.
Project Nerd.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah.
On to the next thing here.
Yeah,
I don't
nerdy
really want
news.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
So
Anybody else?
I haven't played this. Like I don't know anything about this game. I've seen it all over YouTube. I haven't clicked it yet. I don't know what it is. Can anybody explain this to me?
Okay, so I was not expecting this to be something. Literally, I walked into Walmart on Friday where I work, and there were all these Pikachu and Eevee hats, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, those are so cool! How do I get one?" And they're like, "Oh, you just have to buy the game." And I was like, "What game?" Like, and they're like, "The Pokemon game just came out." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember. Like, there was a Pokemon game that was coming out on the Nintendo Switch." And I was like, "So what? Like, what can we do? Like, where are they?" And they're like, "Oh, well, here." And he showed me. He's like, "This one's the game. This one's the Pokeball Plus that comes with the game." And I was just like, "Pokeball Plus?"
Yeah.
I was like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a little Pokeball that you can have with." And I was like, $100. Who cares? Like, and so I bought the Pokeball Plus edition of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which is essentially a port of That's not even a port because it is a remastered, remade version of Pokemon Yellow for the Nintendo Switch.
Really?
So one of the first Pokemon games I actually beat and tried to collect all 150 Pokemon for was Pokemon Yellow.
Yellow only had the 150?
151, technically you could actually still get Mew.
Okay.
But it was one of those things where like I never beat the Elite Four before. Like I had Red and I had Red, did not beat the Elite Four in Red. I just never got around to it. But when Pokemon Yellow came out, I actually went through, beat all of Pokemon Yellow, beat Pokemon Red. But what they did, they added Mega Evolutions, which was a thing in X and Y.
They added Mega Evolutions to this game?
Pokemon Yellow, essentially. They added, I think, spoiler alert, I think there's 153 Pokemon that you can actually have in this game. But it was one of those things where the biggest thing I have to say about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is its integration with Pokemon Go. From the very beginning of the game, all it tells you is, and this is a huge thing that like people, if you haven't bought the game yet and you don't know this fact, I want to tell everybody. Very beginning of the game, the very first thing you do, it says, get as many Pokeballs as you can. Get as many Pokeballs as you can. Collect, keep getting Pokeballs. Every trainer you beat gives you a minimum of 3 Pokeballs. Sometimes they give you more, sometimes they give you Ultra Balls, Great Balls, things like that. But I mean, everybody gives you Pokeballs. The reason why they changed the game mechanic, it is no longer battle a Pokemon, lower its HP, give it a status thing, throw the Pokeball, catch it. It is Pokemon Go style.
Where it's a percentage?
Big ring closes down. You have to throw the Pokeball timed, and you have to catch as many Pokemon as you can, send them back to the professor, you get candies, and then the one Pokemon you get to keep, you can then level up with those candies and also use that in battle to level it up. You get experience points for your Pokemon by catching other Pokemon, and that's how you level them up.
So do you only get to keep one Pokemon at a time?
No, you can keep, so the nice thing is instead of having to go to a computer to unload all your Pokemon, like you used to have to in Pokemon Yellow, for instance, you carry your bag with you all the time. So I have my 7 Pokemon that are in my normal lineup. 6 Pokemon in my normal lineup.
6, yeah.
Yeah. And if I have those out, then I can switch them out from any other Pokemon in my bag at any point in time, as long as I'm not in the middle of a battle. But I just literally have all these things, and you'll get to the point where you're like, oh, I have 100 Rattata thingies. Like, what am I going to do with them all? And you can just go through and you click, send them all to the professor.
Yeah. Is this all on the Switch?
It's all on the Switch.
Okay. So the things that I've heard about it as far as that is your Pokeball is, he didn't explain it, but the Pokeball you get in the Pokeball Plus is a joystick. It's a joystick and basically a Joy-Con for the Switch. You pair it just like the Joy-Cons. It's got a single back button or a single button, and then the actual joystick with a button. And so basically, that is your Pokeball. You throw it it's got the gyroscope in it, and so you throw it.
It's got a really nice gyroscope in it.
It also comes equipped with wireless charging. You can drop that on a wireless charging base.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they have I'm pretty sure it's a wireless charging base.
It comes with an adapter for a charger. It's a USB-C charger. Plug right into your Switch to charge it. But that's what I'm doing for it. So it has a little Pokeball thing.
So that you can put one Pokemon.
So you can. So there's 2 things. So that Pokeball also integrates with Pokemon Go on your phone.
Yeah.
So instead of having a smartwatch or the Pokemon Watch, you can just buy the Pokeball and then hook it up to your phone when you're not hooked up to the game. And when you're out and about, the Pokeball will vibrate, telling you can collect things or catch Pokemon. So it'll literally let you catch Pokemon. It'll let you collect through spinning stations and stuff like that.
That's cool.
So you can carry it with you, and then also it's a step counter. So you can put one of your Pokemon from.
I mean, is it flat or is it like a big ball?
It's an actual Pokeball.
It's a Pokeball,
like,
and it's got some weight to it.
It's a good one.
It's
And
probably
it's got a
about
gyroscope and a haptic motor in it.
it's probably about the size, I would say, probably of a golf ball, maybe a little bit bigger.
That's a squash ball size, maybe. It's a good way
So, and then like I said, the joystick has a LED ring around it that changes colors based on like what you're doing.
Yeah.
So as far as like spinning, Pokestops, it's blue. Catching Pokemon, I think it's green.
Yep. It'll flash green, and then you click the button, and it'll.
And so
okay, because I was confused completely.
It's really awesome. Like I like it for the controller because it's fun to catch Pokemon that way. However, you know me, I got to find a way to be sneaky. So I found out that you can turn on both your Joy-Cons, and you can actually do co-op mode on Pokemon, which only allows you to have a better success rate for catching Pokemon. Like the other person can run around, but they can't interact with any part of the game, and you can do 2-on-1 battles with it. So I figured,
that's not. I know that's pretty neat. I didn't know that.
yeah, it's just kind of lame for two people. I mean, it really like the other person just doesn't do anything.
It's basically so that's the way that
it's good for your kids.
Well, I was just saying that's the way that the Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey was the same way. I could run around, I could do all this stuff, I could use the hat, or you as the second player could be the hat, but all you could do is move the hat around when I wasn't moving it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
very similar to that.
It's like very minimal co-op.
But it was one of those things where if you do both of them at the same time, it uses 2 Pokeballs, but you can time them up with your partner to, if you throw them at the same time to catch the same Pokemon, you get extra bonuses and experience points for catching them. And it's one of those things where if you're a single person playing Pokemon, you catch the Pokemon, you might get 270 experience points. If you have 2 people doing it, you can get up to 1,000 experience points. So it's a huge increase. But what I found out you could do is take your traditional controller and put both the Joy-Cons in it. Yeah. So then they're side by side parallel, and then you literally throw them both at the same time with just like one fluid motion. It throws both the Pokeballs exactly at the same time, and then you double catch a Pokemon. And it's fantastic.
So Josh is really lonely, and he played 2-player by himself.
I did.
But that was the other thing I was going to mention is you don't need the Pokeball or the Pokeball Plus to play Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee. It's just that kind of an added bonus, especially for people who don't have smartwatches or the Pokemon Go.
Yeah. And then the game is actually integrated with your Pokemon Go, so I can take my Pokemon Go on my phone, within Bluetooth range of my phone or my Switch, and then I can connect my Switch to my Pokemon Go, and I can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go to my Switch into kind of like what the Safari Park used to do. Instead of the Safari Park, it's a Pokemon Go Park now.
Yeah.
So you deposit your Pokemon in the Pokemon Go Park, and then you go and find them, and then you have to catch them in Let's Go Pikachu to get them in your thing. Once you do transfer them to Let's Go Pikachu, though, you cannot transfer them back to your phone.
See, I didn't know you had to re-catch them. I don't know if I would want to do that unless it was like a really good Pokemon that was good for battling.
Well, one of the things they want you to do, so if you have, like 500 Pokemon that instead of sending them to Professor in Let's Go and in Pokemon Go, you can actually put them in your Let's Go Pikachu and then send them in, and then you get a ton of candies that way.
Yeah. So is the exchange rate the same from one to the other? So you still get 2 candies or a candy per transfer or whatever?
You do, and then if you do multiple of the same Pokemon, you get extra bonuses. So you might get some rare candies or some smart candies or X defense candies, things like that will let you max things up. So I realized early on that Pikachu is a glass cannon, super powerful, but terribly weak to any special attack. Not necessarily any special attack, but any special attack does a lot more damage to Pikachu than just a normal attack does.
Real quick, guys. Ben says, Drew, why are you so handsome?
Yeah.
And Tasha says that should be Josh's science question for the week.
It's his symmetrical face.
I'm pretty sure it's she's talking about the Pokemon Ghost or Pokemon stuff.
Oh, and then you also missed out. We did have another thing about Spyro, which also came out on Tuesday, right? Or
it was like last Thursday.
Thursday, Friday.
We picked that up, put it on the credit card. The GameStop credit card is racking up with all these games, but Tasha's been like binge playing that. She doesn't play games very often, so when she finds a game that she wants to like latch to, I'm always about it because we got the new baby and everything. But graphically it's very nice. It adds tons of depth to the game as far as like being able to remember how things were as far as like the mechanics worked. But I haven't played much of it, but there's been points in time where gotta lend a hand and try and beat some things for myself because I'm like, I don't want to play this. But
yeah, I put since I got the game on Friday, by Sunday.
Did you get Spyro?
No, not Spyro.
Oh.
I meant Pokemon. Since I got the game on Friday, as of Sunday, I was 30 hours into the game. So that's literally 10 hours a day for the 3 days that I had it. It was bad. It was really bad.
So did you beat it then?
I beat the Elite Four. I've caught Mewtwo, Zapdos, Articuno.
I saw your post that was like...
I've got a couple... there's a lot of Pokemon I still need. I've lost both the Snorlax battles, and I was freaking out because the way that you encounter those Pokemon is you have a time limit to beat the Pokemon in a Pokemon battle. Then after you beat the Pokemon in a Pokemon battle, then you have to catch it, like you would normally. And you only have so many tries of that. And then once you do, the Pokemon runs away if you don't catch it, and then it's gone. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I lost
gone forever?
So yes. So I lost my first Snorlax battle, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
So do you only encounter each Pokemon like once or twice?
Thank God Snorlax you can catch in other spots. But because I missed out on the first 2 spots, I was just like, oh my gosh,
go back to my. Can you only encounter each Pokemon once in the game?
Only Mewtwo, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres.
So
you'll only encounter them once. If you do not catch them on that time, turn off your game, turn it back on again, and then try it again. It's the same thing in the Game Boy.
That blows.
It was the same thing in the Game Boy.
I know,
but it was like as an adult now, like those decisions like impact me so much more.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I was like that.
I want this nostalgia factor, and I want my Mewtwo. Dang it!
Yeah.
And I wanted my Snorlax because it's really good for the Elite Four. But I did not have them. And then after I beat the Elite Four, then I found out there is an area where you get in these Pokemon catch streaks. So once you catch like 3 Pokemon, then rare Pokemon start showing up. Once you get into 11 of the exact same Pokemon catch like streaks, then you start getting like super rare. So that's where you start getting shinies and things like that. So Snorlax is a rare Pokemon that you have to be in the area where Snorlax is, catch 3 of the same Pokemon. Usually it's a Pidgey, something easy, and then boom, a Snorlax appears. And then you can keep catching Pidgeys, and then you might find like a special Snorlax or an even better one.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, so now I was reading about the generation rates of the differences between Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, and there's specific Pokemon that generate more often than Vulpix versus Growlithe. So Pikachu, you get like I don't know which 3 it is, but that Pikachu gets Growlithe. We'll just call it the one Pokemon that I care about, and then Eevee gets Vulpix, and so they have like higher spawn rates. Is that the issue, or not the issue? But is that the thought behind it?
Yeah. So Vulpix is a rare Pokemon this one. But again, with like, it's really not hard to catch any of the rare Pokemon because the game forces you to grind. Like instead of grinding by killing Pidgeys in the very beginning, like you just run through Viridian Forest and just catch everything in Viridian Forest. Like everything that pops up. Oh, the other nice thing is too, no more surprise Pokemon. Oh, thank God. Oh it is so great because it's on the Switch. You can see where the Pokemon, like they randomly spawn and they're walking around just like they do in Pokemon Go, and then you can walk and encounter them. So you don't have to run through a cave getting attacked by Zubats and Diglets and Geodudes. And
that's good.
Yeah, so it took that annoying factor out of it, where you just have to keep running away, to now, like, you can just avoid walk around the Pokemon and stuff.
Now, so you said something about getting as many Pokeballs as, is there in-game currency to buy Pokeballs in-game, or do you just have to defeat people to get those
There
Pokeballs?
is in-game currency, and I am loaded. I've got like 200,000 Zenny. They just throw money at you. It's one of those things where, it's 40,000 Zenny for 100 Ultra Balls, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where I am like, I might have 240,000 right now, but I need to
blow that.
go through that in, I go through about 60 Ultra Balls trying to catch the legendary bird, like each one. So
No, I definitely completely get that. Dale, got any games that you've been playing recently?
I've been just doing Overwatch again lately, but other than that, I've been playing a phone game, Pokemon Go, and Clash Royale, which
Clash
is
Royale,
it's a spin-off of Clash of Clans.
when you come to Nebraska, you can trade some of your Pokemon to me from your phone to my Nintendo Switch, and I can help raise them for you.
Thanks.
Don't do that. You'll never get them back.
You'll never get them back.
Yeah, I understand how trading works. I have all the Pokemon, so
You do not have all.
I have all of them.
I know. I'm at 128 of 100.
So wait, can you trade non-Kanto region Pokemon?
Yes. So technically, you can have even more than just but your Pokédex doesn't necessarily it recognizes them. But like right now, my Pokédex only lists 100 to 151 because I do have a Mew. And I just caught, so I got a special gift for doing the trade thing. It's the Pokemon with like a Ditto body and a lug nut for a head.
Hey, Dale, are we getting comments that we're not interacting with?
Yeah, I'm having issues with the restream chat window, so I think it keeps freezing up on me. So anything that I'm not seeing, you might be able to see.
Okay.
I didn't see anything from Carol.
Yeah. Oh, I see one. Oh, Carol said any suggestions for a young kid wanting to start his own podcast?
Ooh.
Hey, I reloaded
yes.
it. And
Yes.
so we would love to talk about how to do podcasts and everything like that. So Josh and I guess Dale was there week 1 too, just not in front of the microphone.
I didn't have the brainchild.
I'm sorry?
I didn't have the brainchild like you and Josh.
So Josh and I had been just kind of talking about it. We had been listening to podcasts, our own, on our own for a little bit. And it's really just, it's very simple. You have a recording device. You can use your phone. You can use anything that, your computer, tablet, anything that you can record on. And then basically just uploading it somewhere that will host you for free. Is really it. You got to come up with maybe a clever name. Ours isn't very cool or clever, but it works. So,
It described everything we wanted it to at the time.
It's very much a catch-all. We can literally talk about anything because anything can be sexy, nerdy, or sciencey. So, we did that for a specific reason. But if you have any, if
More advanced questions, like
more advanced questions
soundboards
on what kind of equipment you want or anything like that, like Josh said, soundboards, microphones.
Do you mind if I talk about it real quick?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
Just from the
Dale
technical.
has most tech stuff with him right now at his house.
So a lot of it has to do with, like, exactly what Drew said, is if you have something to record with, that is the best thing to do. One of the things that we learned early on is content means, is you have to have something. You have to have video, you have to have audio, whatever you're doing, you need to be able to capture it. If you can't capture it, you can't display it. You can't show it to people. So any smartphone nowadays has a great microphone, has great video. Take the audio, just talking like this, or take the video, and you can get lavalier mics online for like $10 that plugs into your phone. You can get off-brand webcams that have microphones in them. So if you have a computer or a smartphone, you pretty much can start it. As far as the editing software goes, we edit a little bit. We edit a little bit with Audacity. That's we do a lot of our audio editing, and then I actually for video editing, there's a few different softwares that you can use that are free, but I use a more advanced one. I don't know of any free ones offhand besides just whatever comes on Mac, whatever comes on Windows, like Windows Movie Maker or
Movie Maker no longer is existing.
Oh, I don't know then. I use DaVinci Resolve, and I use another thing called Wondershare Filmora. And that's that. You can just YouTube any of that stuff, or Google it and see like what's free, and just start learning how to do it for video. But audio, Audacity's free.
Yeah,
So-
I would definitely suggest trying to do it with just the bare minimum at first, just to get a touch on doing things on a regular basis. We, even 4 years in, have trouble doing that on our own. So
Please see our live stream last week.
yeah. So
Without Dale's help, our live stream was not nearly as good as this one.
most of that was because of my computer being nonsense in itself. But just goes to show, with a 10-year-old computer, you can even do a live stream and it won't be terrible.
Yeah.
And also I think we tried to do Zoom with that, and then nobody was interacting on Zoom. Like, Dale wasn't here.
Yeah.
So it shut down midway through because we didn't have, we were using Zoom to record, and it just, anyway, whatever. But so do it with bare minimum phone. We used our first couple weeks, we used Rock Band mics.
Because they're USB, they
Because
plug
they're
right in.
Yeah, they're USB. They're plug and play for most computers.
They had a Snowball. It was like $90 and you bought it.
No,
Right?
it's even cheaper. It's like less than $50, I think.
And
Yeah.
they've gone down. I think they're like 35 at Walmart.
Yeah,
right now.
it's just a circle. I think I have it. Hold on.
So, realistically, you can get into it for fairly inexpensive amounts of money. And then, I think the most we spend typically per year, besides spend on the website, is for SoundCloud hosting. And you can still do, 150 minutes a month for free.
Yep. Which
So-
I don't even think we get into with what. Technically, I don't think we're uploading more than that.
Right now, technically, but in a perfect world, we would be.
Yeah.
That's
So
And
this is the microphone. Don't pay attention to this big metal thing on the outside. It's just the center thing. It's an omnidirectional mic, which means that you can set it between two people and have a conversation. And then it comes with a little stand, and that just screws on the bottom. This is a separate thing that's also made by the same company. It's just a shock mount that's kind of like in the middle of it, so anything that's movable, that thing is pretty good.
Otherwise, you hear the phone. If we move the mic, you can hear your hands touching.
So this is on the table, and so you can just screw the bottom in like that. And then when it's all screwed in, you can just set it right there and then talk right into it like this. And like I said, it has omnidirectional, so you can have two people, or you can make it a cardioid polar pattern, which is just the front side with the little logo on it.
Yeah, and you can change the angle. I thought too, that was one of the things you could do.
No, so that's the pattern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Carol, if he has any more questions, feel free to give us a call, or not a call, but you shoot us a message on Facebook. We can definitely kind of walk you through any other questions you might have as far as You know, how long an intro should be. I mean, we have differing opinions, but mostly if you listen to a podcast that's pretty regular, they'll have intros that are, anywhere from 10 seconds to 45 seconds. I mean, it just depends on the content. But yeah, so thanks for the question. We really appreciate it.
We like talking about ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it
makes you feel like we know what we're doing. And I like that.
I mean, that's definitely
everybody who does podcasts, I think, will tell you like they don't have the secret.
There is no secret sauce to do a podcast.
No.
The only secret sauce is being in the right place at the right time and potentially getting a good break as far as
that's your name, Joe Rogan.
A shout out. Well, I mean, he was already famous before his podcast, so a lot of people who do podcasts and who make money doing them were already famous before they started doing podcasts.
It is a great way to reach an audience with relatively little. Like, I mean, we're in a basement doing this. I mean, it's not too bad. And going into conventions, like we can bring a lot of the stuff with us to do podcasts. Every time we go though, I mean, we always get better and better every time we do it. Every season, we keep adding more stuff. We keep taking things away that aren't working. And I think, don't be afraid to keep the things that work and get rid of the things that don't work.
Yeah. I mean, it's ever evolving. I mean, we were kind of plateauing in viewership as far as, that went. So we decided to do some streaming like we are now. I mean, you definitely get a lot more, live interaction, which is what we were wanting in season 1 and season 2, where we were asking people for questions of the week and to respond to those. Interaction is always a choice that we want to have available to our listeners and everything like that. But it just the way that they interact is what has to change from one season to the next. So,
speaking of changes, and that's not a transition.
Changes.
It's not necessarily a transition into sciencey news. It's more just kind of a precursor before we get into sciencey news. So those of you that have been listening to us for the last 4 years, will realize that around this time comes the end of our season. So we'll have kind of a couple more podcasts after Thanksgiving, before Christmas. We'll take a little time off for Christmas and possibly New Year's, and then we'll jump back in January with season 5 coming out. So with that's going to come some new things. Probably we'll probably have a new schedule, maybe. Just as our lives become more chaotic, changing schedules is something that we're going to be doing more of with this. But I like these live streams. I think they do a great job of engaging with people. I love being able to look down and see the comments and stuff.
Yeah, we definitely need to get that on the screen though, so we don't have to do that.
That's true. It's one of those things where it's something that I really like engaging that way, and it's something I think we're going to do more of in season 5. And we're probably going to have some better times where we can engage more people, and especially because we're in Eastern time and Central time, changing the time when we do the podcast will be a little better. We'll have more people from Michigan and stuff viewing because it'll be less late at night.
Yeah, but what about those Russians searching Sexy Nerd Science on their SoundCloud?
If I had to, I don't need to guess. I'm pretty sure it's like 6 o'clock in the morning in Russia right now.
Google will tell us.
Gary, what time is it in Russia right now?
In Soviet Russia, time tells you.
It's 6:48 a.m. in Moscow. So Dale, do you have anything for blind science for Mr. Josh Jebby here?
I don't.
I'm idiot.
Nothing in my head.
I just realized I was struggling so hard to calculate the circumference of the Earth last time, and I realized if you break up the Earth into 24 time zones, and I roughly know how many miles there are in time zones, I can then multiply that number by the circumference, or by how many times you go through there for the hour time changes, and literally get the circumference of the Earth. And I am so mad at myself right now. So mad at myself.
So the last blind science question I asked him was, what is
surface
area of the Earth? And it was like 196 or 96 million miles or something like that. 96 million square miles or whatever. I can't remember.
And it was off by like a factor of 1,000, but it was only because I did a couple multipliers.
So he tried to do the United States would fit across the circumference of the Earth
X amount of time,
20 times, but it ended up actually only being like 8 times. So he was off by like triple the number or something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's talk about this other bit. And I will dig up a blind science question here.
All right. So this is just something I came across as we were getting into the podcast. I was looking for some sciencey news, and one of the things I came across was there is going to be a new Mars rover not necessarily rover, but a new Mars robot, which was also another previous sciencey question that I got wrong. Coming to Mars. This one's going to be InSight. It is essentially it's going to be a seismograph and thermometer. So it is one of the first boring probes that we're going to be able to put into Mars. I believe they said about 3 meters. So 6 feet to 3 meters, which is roughly 9-ish feet. So it's going to, first of all, rover's going to land at very specific things. Still the 7 minutes of chaos that happened with Curiosity. This is the first rover since 2012 that has touched down on Mars' surface. I think it's happening Monday. So those of you guys listening, make sure to check out NASA TV, and it'll probably be streaming online. That's where I watched Curiosity last year, or not last year, 2012. But the idea is for this rover to land on Mars, dig a really deep hole, and then take the temperature of the hole. What they're trying to determine is whether or not Mars has a solid or liquid core. They're trying to figure out if the temperature changes below to see if maybe there's some underground water on Mars. And if there is underground water, then that would be sustainable for, terraforming or putting people on Mars, is finding a source of fresh water.
Are they going to land it in like a low spot?
So I'm not entirely sure where they're landing it. I didn't see anything where exactly it's going to land. I would assume so. I think the target area is probably going to be something really low. Those of you guys who don't know, Curiosity is actually in a low spot right now too. So that's one of the things where it's probably going to land pretty close to where Curiosity already is. So yay, Curiosity's not going to be alone. But still, it's very interesting. This one's going to do kind of more of what we do typically with our reusable shuttle. What the Earth does with their reusable rockets, where they will, as they come back, they'll position themselves and then land with a retro rocket boost to approach the ground and land safely. It's going to kick up a lot of dust, but they don't care, because at this point in time, the thing was only concerned with digging through the ground. It's not going to need anything else. So it's one of those things where you don't have to be as worried about kicking up dust like we were for Curiosity. So I'm excited. It's gonna
live.
Temperature. It's gonna do a seismograph. It's gonna be able to determine the wobble.
Oh yeah, we're live now.
Mars,
but
the
I
wobble of Mars.
Calling it 11 o'clock at night. I was kind of
whether or
worried.
not it has, or will give us more evidence of whether or not it has a solid or a liquid core.
Okay, bye bye.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot of interesting things. I'm really excited to see what comes from this. I mean, the next step, honestly, if we can find liquid water on Mars underground, and if we can access it by only drilling 20, 30 feet, our traditional wells, terrestrial wells, aren't, they're deeper than 30 feet sometimes.
Mm.
Oh, it's one of those things where we'll be able.
I feel if it was that close to the surface, though, it would be relatively simple to, or at some point you could see water on Mars. Maybe either
we do on the poles. To be fair, They grow and they shrink and they melt and then they absorb back into the earth.
Yeah.
But it's really briny water, salty water. It's not.
So I just got a call from my sister I'm freaking out because she doesn't call me at 11 o'clock at night. And she's like, "Oh, I see you're live on Facebook." I'm like, "Thanks." It scared the crap out of me, but that's fine.
Justin both commented on our.
Yeah, so that freaked me out for a second. Drew, you got anything for blind science?
So we're gonna kind of stick it to the Earth,
Mars rover question. Okay.
the Earth stuff here. So Josh, can you tell me how many tectonic plates there are, and can you name, let's say, 25% of them?
Name one.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Man, this is tough. I'm trying to remember plate tectonics here.
So I'll give you a hint. There are minor and major plates.
And we're talking major plates, right?
Well,
I'm assuming.
I mean, I will accept, as far as names go, any of them. But can you tell me how many are?
I believe one of them is called the Atlantic Shelf, or the Mid-Atlantic Shelf, and it is currently going underneath, I want to say, like, the European Shelf? Is shelf the right word? Like, am I thinking
Well, no.
They all have the word plate in them.
plate? Okay. I remember because there's one dividing goes right through the Mid-Atlantic Ocean, if I remember correctly. I know there's
So
one
you're actually speaking of the separating cracks or the fault lines.
Yes, but I mean each fault line has a plate around it, I'm assuming, right?
Well, each fault line has a plate on either side.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember where my divides are.
Your Mid-Atlantic fault line falls between plate X and plate Y. So
Justin says, instead of plate, what about fine china?
So I'm going to say there are 10 major plates. I want to say that one's named after Australia, but I can't.
I mean, that's correct.
Good.
I mean,
Okay.
you just got to finish that sentence.
The Australian plate.
There you go.
Okay.
Now say some other ones that you think.
Say some other ones that are pretty
there's a
obvious.
European one.
What if you
Or an
added?
Asianic.
What if you added those together?
A Eurasian one.
Yeah.
What a Eurasian what?
Plate.
What about what continent are we part of?
I was going to say, I think there's a North American one.
What about south of us?
I don't know if I think there might be a separate South American one as well.
There is!
Because again, I'm going through the fault lines here and trying to figure out which ones are in what region.
What about the...
Are there 10? Like, am I close with saying 10? 7? Okay.
So
7?
there's-
I'm showing 15.
So there are. So per my website, there are actually 8 major plates
Antarctic one.
and then 7 minor plates.
Okay. So 10 is a good average between those. Just saying.
I'm on geology.
More than just one.
I'm on geology.com and it just says 15 major tectonic plates.
I'm on Crystal Links Plate Tectonics.
Mine's geology.com. That is the place to go.
It's a .com. It's not .org.
You're right.
True.
What organ? Okay, whatever. Mr. Ryan says, "What about social Darwinism?"
Ooh, who's Ryan Tyler? I don't even care. Social Darwinism. I am not necessarily pro social Darwinism because I don't think people that are dumb and I don't think anything like that should be a survival problem. However, I do definitely believe in what's called epistemic responsibility, which says that people are responsible for their beliefs and should be held responsible for their beliefs, whether or not they're true or false, and their evidence for gathering such said beliefs. And my favorite little story to tell for epistemic belief or epistemic responsibility.
I just want to point out that's a fail for Josh.
I already put that as a negative.
Okay,
What?
Cool.
You said name one. I named 3 of them.
With a lot of help from me and Drew.
No. Because I said the Mid-Atlantic one was the fault line, and then I said, I named the
Mid-Atlantic isn't one.
That's one of the faults.
Okay, but that's not one of the
It
plates.
separates the North American and Eurasian plate. And I was able to say that with great confidence, knowing I didn't say plate because I didn't know what the proper vernacular was for each one, but I did guess the region and name for them. And Australia didn't even need any help for that. I was like, I want to say Australia's one. And if I would have guessed, I would have said Australian plate.
Still not
I
25%.
hate you all.
Still not 25%.
I named 3 of
15.
Antarctic, South American, the Indian plate. Any more that I need to name off for you guys?
I mean, if you can get one of the minor plates, maybe.
You know what? I'm gonna say, is there a Mediterranean plate that is
No.
minor? No, Italian, Swiss, Alp plate.
I mean, keep going. You got about 20 different minor regions that you could try for.
Is there a minor plate that Nebraska sits on?
No.
Okay, I know there is a fault line that Nebraska sits on. The Missouri River actually follows a lot of that fault line.
Okay, Drew, your new wife is saying that apparently we get sidetracked a lot.
Oh, because I was so excited about social Darwinism?
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily social Darwinism as much as it is epistemic responsibility. I don't think if someone has a bad belief, they need to be dead because of it. I mean, if you believe the tiger's not going to eat you and you die because of that, I mean, better luck next time, Siegfried. And I kind of have to be like, all right, that's okay. But there are some things where I'm just like, hey, you need better reasoning for believing that. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself killed with fallacious or terrible reasoning, and then it'll be your fault. Because I guess technically the thing I was going to do for epistemic responsibility involves a boat ship captain that has an old ship sailing from the United Kingdom to the United States. This is back in the 1700s, and has no real reason for believing that his boat is in functional form. Dale's going to fall asleep. But the captain believes, hey, this boat needs repairs. I'm going to retire. I'm done doing this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'll make this my last trip. So he takes out a huge insurance policy and is like, if we die, cool. We're going to get some good money on that. If the boat doesn't make it across, and doesn't believe it's going to make it across. However, it makes the journey, and then he's like, oh, cool, we made it, and I guess I didn't need that insurance policy anyways. Is the ship captain guilty of some sort of crime? And I would argue that yes, because his reasoning for believing that the ship wasn't going to make it was sound. I mean, he's a captain. He understands the things of the ship. Just because he got lucky and his ship made it across, I would still say that in some moral realm, the ship captain should be blameworthy for something. Maybe not necessarily attempted murder, possibly, but criminal negligence, yes.
I know that there's some legal term that you can actually potentially sue somebody for. Kind of what you're saying is criminal negligence is basically if a piano were to fall from somebody's moving a piano above you and they don't have any markings to say that you can't be underneath of it and it falls right behind you. It's basically criminal negligence. That could have literally fallen on me had I been standing 2 feet behind
So the best case is if you go to a repair shop and they say, "Hey, you need to fix your brakes. Your brakes are bad." Like you're eventually they're going to fail eventually, and then you end up killing somebody because you failed to stop. They can call that negligence, because obviously, like, hey, I tried to do it, but my brakes failed, and then because of the failure of the brakes, that's why I ended up rear-ending this person or hitting them. But if they find that, it's beyond negligence, that, like, no, like, you really should be in trouble for this, then it could be a vehicular manslaughter charge. And then if your intent was to not get your brake fixed in order to kill somebody, then they could actually prove a murder charge. So, like, the escalations of that all are depending on your ability to reason correctly. Whether your reasoning was sound and you wanted to kill somebody, or your reasoning was bad and you thought, oh, I don't need to get my brakes fixed. Like he said, I have some time, so I'm going to wait some time, then you can prove negligence on that and then not necessarily have to face that problem.
Yeah, I mean,
there was in Bellevue, there was a female driver that went to Bellevue West that ended up killing somebody twice at the same intersection. And then the first time she got negligence and got off without like any real problem. But the second time she went to jail for manslaughter.
That's so crazy.
Yep. And it's the intersection right at Bellevue West for Walmart on 15th Street.
Really?
Yep. Came flying out from Bellevue West.
I remember you telling me that story a few times.
Yeah, it's great. It was one of the things that I witnessed both accidents on my way to work because I used to work at Carl's Kelly's just down the street.
Ryan says Jim and Pam or Dwight and Angela.
Jim and Pam.
I don't understand.
It's from The Office. Speaking of which, Steve Carell hosted Saturday Night Live, and they made a ton of jokes about like bringing The Office back, and a bunch of cast members from The Office were also on Saturday Night Live, like for his opening monologue, and they're like, "No, just
I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna say Jim and Dwight.
I don't get it.
That's the best pairing in the show because their antics are super funny.
Who's Angela?
Angela is Dwight's secret lover in the TV show.
Gotcha.
Well, they're not secret all the time. They end up not being secret, but at the beginning they're secret.
Shouldn't have to hide love like that. I hate you all. You guys just want me to be not right for blind science. Like, I
told you.
Drew, go ahead and give me a thumbs down or up for him.
Oh, that's definitely thumbs down.
Yeah, me too. So that's sorry, Josh.
So
we'll give you an easier one next week.
Real science question, not about geology.
Geology is not a real science question.
Depending on who you ask.
That is the title of our podcast this week. Geology, not a real science? ?
Geology, not a real science. Fight me. Somewhere there's a guy with a geology degree that's going to listen to this and be like, he doesn't even have his physics degree. What is he saying? He's a real scientist for, like. But there's also that guy who's not a geologist, who's in Congress, who literally claims all the time, or not Congress, he's one of the, I think he's in charge of not the EPA, he's in charge of like the parks, I think, for the federal government. I can't remember his name now, but he's literally like, trust me, I'm a geologist. And he's not. Like, he does not have a degree in geology at all. And he's just like, in geology, we say. And I was like, you're not a geologist. Like, don't brag about being a geologist, even if you are one. But, like...
Shut up, Josh.
Geologists lick rocks, Dale. They lick rocks.
What's wrong with licking rocks, Josh?
They lick rocks, Dale.
My sister says geology is literally science.
I know it's literally...
a few other things I don't understand. Michael and Holly, Plop and Aaron, and Creed and Meredith.
Oh, they're talking about other Office characters. Dale, you've never watched The Office?
I watched it like once or twice. It's not that funny.
It's what?
Okay, what's more controversial? Me saying geology is not a science, or Dale saying The Office?
Dale saying The Office is funny. Dale, you lose one
science tick
on your No, not on your social, your blind social science.
So would I go from like a 3 to a 2?
I don't know.
That's what season 5, guys. We're gonna
Dale's-
have a science question and a sexy question.
And a pop culture question.
Dale's culture question.
Yeah, Dale's culture question.
I like this. Oh, this will be great.
All right, so
Get my revenge in
it's
season
getting
5.
it's getting to a point where we're gonna have to wrap up here. So, just kind of spout off some stuff here. We are, as always, on Project Nerd's website, project-nerd.com. You can find us there, or on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can listen to us on project-nerd.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, or Podcast Addict. And if you guys are feeling a little generous this holiday season, go ahead and buy somebody you know a SexyNerdScience t-shirt. They are, I think it's $15 is the reoccurring sale price for our 3-day sale. It goes up every 3 days. They ship 3 days after you buy it, and they go out. We get a little kickback from that, but it's not much because we pretty much dropped the price to as small as we could get it to get people cheap shirts. So if you guys are interested, feel free to do that. If not, it's okay.
Their Patreon's launching next season. I
It's
think.
just, yeah. So we're going to actually be on the Project-Nerd's Patreon. Basically, you go there, say that you're kind of doing a extra content tier. You'll get some extra content, maybe some access to some live streams that we might do as far as game streaming or editing streaming that we do. And we're going to try
Or off camera banter that we argue about.
basically that stuff. So just keep in touch there. But
The tagline for the editing stream should be like, "It's like listening to paint dry."
If you guys are interested, like I said, go check that out. Once we'll share the links and everything. So just stick with us. If you haven't liked or subscribed to anything that you guys heard today, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or anything like that, please do. It'll give you guys the best chance to catch up with us and see what we're doing. Also, feel free to just write anything, any questions you have. We can touch on them, in future episodes or anything like that. Especially like anything that you can get Josh to write out a long-winded diatribe about prior to the show, so that way he doesn't have to do his thinking.
Yes, if you guys want to ask me a blind science question, save it until the next time we're live, or
Message Dale privately, or Dale or Drew.
You can send actually emails to
No.
their Project Nerd emails, and they will get it as well. I'm trying to remember what Drew's is. Dale, do you know your Project Nerd email?
It's
Dale.
just Drew at Project
Dale at Project Nerd.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just goes to our personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then that way you guys can send them stuff, and then I won't be able to research the question earlier. At least I
or you can
know
just send
thyself.
send
and if
us.
someone's like, "I want to do this for a blind science question," like I'm gonna spend all week trying to be like,
Yeah, that's the whole point of the blind science question, is so that Josh can't
Cheat,
But-
because we know he's a cheater.
put stock into. Oh yeah, wait, I was gonna say something about. Did you catch your Moltres and your Articuno with your double controller? I knew you fucking. I knew it. I knew.
Cheater. He's a cheater.
it still took 60 Ultra Balls. F you all.
60.
60.
Oh,
Like a
jeez.
piece. And in fact, for Zapdos, I ran out. I had like 55 Ultra Balls, and I was like, "Oh, this will be fine." I ran out and used about 35 regular Pokeballs for that, and then I ended up using one of my Premier Balls that I got as an extra bonus for buying hundreds of Ultra Balls,
Hey,
and then I caught it with a Premier Ball.
Dale. Justin says he's still waiting for his blue shirt.
Waiting a lot longer.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys another time.
We'll probably post when we want to do the next one.
A little bit beforehand.
Yes,
So we can get
more than just
everybody-
a day.
So thank you guys. We appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful night.
I thought Drew was gonna salute, and he was like,
Yeah, I was like,
Nice.
bye-bye.
Bye.
"Bye."